Good evening, students. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will solve the second exercise, exercise 12b of this chapter, proportion chapter. Already exercise 12a was uploaded a couple of days ago. So today we will learn some new topic which is related to this chapter. So basically in this session there is a term or concept that will be utilized for doing these sums. The concept is continued proportion. Continued proportion. All these sums of this exercise will be based on this topic, continued proportion. Suppose we have three terms. A, B and C. We have three terms A, B and C, where A is your first term, B is your second term and C is your third term. A, B, C, we have three terms where A is first term, B is second term and C is third term. Now all these terms A, B, C, all these three terms are said to be continued proportion if all these terms maintain a certain rule. If they maintain a certain rule, then we can say that these three terms are in continued proportion. The rule is A ratio B equals to B ratio C. This relation, if A, B, C maintain this relation, that is A is to B equals to B is to C, then we can say that these three terms are in continued proportion. If you look carefully this expression, you can see that this B term is repeated. This B term is repeated. That means B is the second term and the second term is repeated. That's why B is called repeating term. B is called repeating term, and also this B is known as mean proportional. Also this B is known as mean proportional to A and C. As the B term or second term is repeated twice, so it is known as repeating term and also known as mean proportional to A and C. That means the three terms will be in continued proportion if the second term is repeated. If the second term in between these three, if the second term is repeated, then we can say that these three terms will be in continued proportion. Clear? The B is your second term, that is repeating term or mean proportional, and this C, the third term, it is called as third proportional. This C or third term is known as third proportional. Third proportional. So A is your first term, B is your second term or repeating term or mean proportional, and C is known as third proportional. Clear? So if the three terms they have to be in continued proportion, they should maintain this relation where the middle term will be the second term and the middle term should be the repeating term. That means the middle term should be repeated twice and maintain this relation. Then only we can say that these three terms will be in continued proportion. So A is to B equals to B is to C. This is the relation. So A is to B equals to B is to C. So from here we can simplify this. A is to B means A by B and B is to C means B by C. Now cross multiply. So B, that is B square. A into C means AC. Therefore B will be root AC. So the value of B will be root over AC. That means the second term will be equal to the root of the product of first term and third term, because A is the first term and C was your third term. So A into C means product of first term and third term and root over it. So the second term B will be equal to the product of first term and second term and root over that. So square root of the product of first term and third term, that is equal to the second term or middle term. Clear? So this relation must be satisfied. This B equals to root AC or B square equal to AC. This relation must be satisfied if the three terms are to be in continued proportion. Clear? So that is the concept. This concept will be used for doing all these sums. So let's move to the question number 1. First question. First question says, if x, y and z are in continued proportion, then which of the following is true? See, the three terms are given, x, y and z. X is the first term, y is the second term, z is the third term. Clear? And these three are to be in continued proportion, then which of the relation is true? Now look at very carefully the four options. You can see in option 3 that the term y is repeated. The term y is repeated because if the three terms are to be in continued proportion, the second term should be repeated. So second term is y or middle term. So this term must be repeated and must satisfy the relation. Therefore, all these four options, between all these four options, only in option 3, the second term is repeated. That means y is repeated. So this is the answer. This will be the answer. Now x is to y. Option 3 is x is to y equals to y is to z. Therefore, we can write x by y equals to y by z. Therefore, cross multiply y square equal to xz, or we can write y equal to root xz. That means this relation is satisfied. Therefore, this option is true. This is the relation if x, y and z are in continued proportion, because the second term must be repeated and they satisfy this formula. Clear? That means the second term should be equal to the square root of product of first term and third term, because x was your first term and z was your third term. Therefore, the answer will be option 3. Next, question number 2. Question number 2 says, which of the following number are in continued proportion? So we have four options and we have to find out that among them which of the following are in continued proportion. So let's start from option 1. First option, 3, 6 and 15. 3, 6 and 15. So this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and the relation is the second term should be equal to the square root of the product of the first term and third term. So 6 must be equals to 3 into 15, because this is the second term. This should be equal to the product of first term and third term and root over that, or square root over that. It must be equal if these three terms are to be in continued proportion. Therefore, 6 will be equal to root over 45. Now see, this is not equal. It is not equal because these two are not equal. Clear? It is from question option 1. Option 2, 15, 45 and 48. Also the second term is 45, so it is equal. It should be equal to product of 15 and 48 and square root over that. Now 45, 15 means 3 into 5, 48, 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12, 12 2s are 24, 24 2s are 48, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 3s are 48. Therefore, 45 equals to 2 3s are there, so 1 3 will be extracted, and 1 2 3 4, 4 2s are there, therefore 2 2 will be extracted, and root 5 will be there as it is. Therefore, 45 should be equal to 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12, 12 root 5. Now see, these two are not equal. Therefore, this is also not the answer. This will be not equal. It must be equal, but these are not equal. So this is not also the answer. Next, option 3. Let's move to option 3. Option 3, that is 6, 12 and 24. So middle term is 12. Therefore, 12 must be equal to square root of product of first term and third term, first term and third term. Now check, 12 equals to 6 12s are 144. Now 144 means 12 into 12. From here, extract 112. Now see, this is equal. It is exactly equal. This is 12. Here also it is 12. Therefore, it satisfies the relation. Therefore, your answer is option 3. These three numbers are in continued proportion, because the middle number or second number must be equal to the square root of the product of first and third term. So middle term 12, it is equal to The square root of the product of first term and third term. So option 3 will be the answer. Next, question number 3. Question number 3 says find the mean proportional between 3 and 27. Find the mean proportional between 3. So we have given two numbers, 3 and 27, and we have to find out the mean proportional between these two numbers. So numbers are 3 and 27. Let mean proportional be x. Let us assume that the mean proportional is x. So let the required mean proportional be x. We have assumed that the mean proportional between 3 and 27 is x. Therefore, if x is the mean proportional between 3 and 27, therefore we can write that 3x and 27 are in continued proportion. We can write it. If x is the mean proportional between 3 and 27, therefore we can write that 3x and 27 are in continued proportion, because we have assumed that x is the mean proportional. So if x is the mean proportional, it should be between 3 and 27, because mean proportional means the middle number, the second number is the mean proportional. Therefore this is the second number. So it should be between 3 and 27, because 3 is the first number, x is the second number or middle number, and so 27 is the third number. Therefore we can write, if these three are in continued proportion, therefore we can write 3 is to x equals to x is to 27, because the formula was, let us recall the formula, there were three numbers a, b, c. If these three numbers are in continued proportion, therefore the relation was a is to b equals to b is to c. Now compare, just compare. This is the first number, here 3 is the first number, b is the second number, therefore b repeated, x is the second number, x is repeated, c is the third number, here c, 27 is the third number, here is 27, third number. Clear? Now simplify. 3 is to x means 3 by x, x is 27 means x by 27. Now cross multiply, x square equal to 3 into 27 means 81. Therefore x equals to root over 81, x equals to 9 into 9, therefore x equals to 9. So your answer is 9. Therefore 9 is the mean proportional between 3 and 27. So therefore just write 9 is the mean proportional between 3 and 27. Just write it here. 9 is the mean proportional between 3 and 27. That is the answer. Next question, question number 4. Next question number 4. Question number 4, part 3. Part 3. The question is find the third proportional. We have to find out now third proportional between rupees 1.60 and rupees 0.40. So let us write the two numbers first. Rupees 1.60 and rupees 0.40. We have to find out the third proportional. So let us assume the third proportional be x as it is. Let x rupees x be the third proportional. We have assumed that rupees x is the third proportional. If rupees x is the third proportional, then we can write rupees 1.60, rupees 0.40 and rupees x are in continued proportion, because rupees x is the third proportional. We have assumed that rupees x is the third proportional. Therefore we can assume that rupees 1.60, rupees 0.40 and rupees x will be in continued proportion if rupees x is the third proportional, because third proportional means the last term. Recall the relationship a is to b is to c, where a is the first term, b is the second term and c is the third term, and that third term is the third proportional. That means here the third term is rupees x. Only then we can say that if rupees x is the third term, then we can say that rupees x will be the third proportional according to this relationship. Therefore these three numbers are in continued proportion. If these three numbers are in continued proportion, then we can write 1.60, 1.60 ratio 0.40 equals to 0.40 is to x. Because x is the third term or third proportional, therefore we can write the first term, second term, third term, and the second term should be repeated according to continued proportion. See, the second term is repeated. Clear? Now solve. 1.60 divided by 0.40 equals to 0.40 divided by x. Now cross multiply. 1.60 into x equal to 0.40 into 0.40. Now find out the value of x. 0.40 into 0.40 divided by 1.60. Now cancel the decimals. Therefore decimals into 100, decimals into 100, these decimals will be reduced 100. So 100 will reduce, 10 will reduce, 10 will reduce. Therefore 4 4s are 440, 160, and 4, this is 10. Therefore x will be equals to 1 by 10. Therefore x will be 0.1. Therefore 0.1 will be the third proportional. So you can write that therefore third proportional equals to rupees 0.1. The rupees sign is to be written because in the question there is a rupees sign. Therefore in answer you will write rupees 0.1. That is the third proportional. Clear? Next, question number 6. In question number 6. Question number 6 says if 4x plus 3y is to 3x plus 5y equal to 6 is to 7, find out x if y equal to 10. So it is very easy. Just put y equal to 10 in this question and get the value. So 4x plus 3y, 4x plus 3y ratio 3x plus 5y equal to 6 is to 7. So we can write from here that 4x plus 3y divided by 3x plus 5y equal to 6 by 7. Clear? Now put y equals to 10 because it is given in the question. So put y equals to 10 here. So 4x plus 3 into 10 divided by 3x plus 5 into 10 equal to 6 by 7 because y equal to 10 is given. So you can write in bracket that y equal to 10, it is given in the question. So 4x plus 3 into 10, that is 30, 3x plus 5 into 10, that is 50, 6 by 7. Now cross multiply. So cross multiply, so 7 into 4x, 28x, 7 into 30, 210, 6 into 3, 18, 18x, 6 into 50, 300. Now interchange the position. 28x minus 18x equal to 300 minus 210. It is 10x equal to 90. Therefore x will be equals to 90 by 10. Therefore x is 9. That is the answer. X will be equal to 9. So if y equal to 10, x will be equal to 9. Next, last question of this exercise, question number 7. Question number 7. Question number 7 says if 2y plus 5x by 3y minus 5x equal to 2 and 1 by 2, find y if x equal to 33. The same question. The question 6 and question 7 both are same. Here we can we'll have to find the value of y. Only the value of x is given. So let's write the question. 2y plus 5x, 2y plus 5x divided by 3y minus 5x equal to 2 and 1 by 2. So let 2y plus 5x divided by 3y minus 5x equal to 5 by 2. Now put the value of x, because the value of x is given as 33. Put the value of x 33 here. So it is 2y plus 5 into 33 divided by 3y minus 5 into 33 equal to 5 by 2. Therefore 2y plus it is 165 divided by 3y minus 165 equal to 5 by 2. Therefore cross multiply, so 2 into 2y 4y minus 2 5s are 10, carry 1, it is 2 5s are 10, carry 1, 2 6 are 12, 1 are 13, 3 13, carry 1 3, so 330. It is equal to 15y minus 825. Now interchange, 4y minus 15y equal to minus 825 minus 330. Therefore it is minus 11y. So 5 8 is 11 minus, so minus minus will reduce, so y will be 1155 divided by 11. Now divide, if you divide 11 ones are 11, 0 11 5s are 55, so 105. Now y will be 105. This is the answer. 105 will be the answer. That's it. This exercise is complete. We will start the next exercise in the next day. Thank you.